the Pokemon Squad. We're shining the light of Christ one ride at a time. And today, it's time for a big upgrade. It's time for a sound system in our Cfmoto Uforce 800XL. And we've decided to go with the Kemimoto overhead sound system. And so let's see what we get in the box. Now I did take out the little top layer, and so you get some instructions. Looks like we've got a little inline fuse here. We've got our speaker wires. We've got our switch that will go into the dash. You'll be able to turn it on and off and switch to Bluetooth, or you can play it through a USB. You can go back and forth, turn it up and down. Really pretty awesome. We've got the amplifier that will go from that switch. This will go in the middle, and then to the speakers to give us some juice. This is also another rocker panel type switch where you can plug in different things. And of course we've got this here, and it looks like it's just kind of attached there in the middle. We've got our brackets and some zip ties and some bolts, kind of get it all nice and neat. Now for the main thing, we have got two overhead speakers. Let's take them out. Oh, those look nice, and they will go up above our heads, and I'm not exactly sure how I want to mount them yet. But they're pretty cool. This should have also, it's got, I'll say obviously, you may not have known, we've got two of these, and then we've got these mounting brackets, and they are heavy duty. And the way this system works, we will mount these with the included hardware, and this should reach from bar to bar in the ceiling of our side-by-side at the roof, and then it will attach with those straps, those clamps that we just saw. And so come along for this journey. We'll do an install step by step, figure this out together, and of course we'll see what these bad boys sound like. See you in a minute. Alright, so let's take a closer look at everything that came in there. I know I did a brief overview, but we really need to start here with our amplifier, and we can kind of go from there. And so it's not that big. I've got little hands, and so we don't need a whole lot of space, but we'll have to find somewhere to locate this. Coming off of this, we have our left and right speakers, and so these will go up the cab and to our speakers that will be mounted up top. I believe this is our Bluetooth receiver antenna, so we won't do anything with that. This is our power. You say, where in the world would you plug this in at? Well, we have that right here, and it is just a positive and a negative, and we can see right here they will just plug in. You can run this to your battery, even though I wouldn't recommend that. I'm going to wire it to my winch. The Cfmoto does not come stock with a bus bar, but I do have one coming. And I'll reroute it once I get that here, but I'll show you how to wire it to the winch. The only problem with that is this thing will always be on, so we'll have to make sure we turn it off so it doesn't drain our battery. This is the control, and we've got a plug-in right here. It's a waterproof connection, and we can see right here we have our controller wire. We also have our auxiliary input. I'm probably not going to plug this in. I don't intend on using that. None of my phones even have a headphone jack anymore. I may plug it in just in case. And then this is the USB in. We'll pop this open one-handedly somehow. And this can be stored underneath the dash. If you didn't want to use this switch, you could just have it stored safely somewhere else. In fact, I may not even use this. I may just do that, but that will be up to you. And of course, we've got our speaker wire. We've got a left and a right, our controller, and then of course our speaker. On one of the sides of this speaker, saw it a minute ago. There it is. You can see where we'll actually put our speaker wire. So hopefully that'll kind of help you prepare. We may have to splice some wires, hopefully not, but if we do, we've got these butt connectors. You can splice your wire, put two together, put a heat source on it, whether it be a lighter or a heat gun, and it will literally solder these two connections together and make them waterproof. We may need a drill, so just warning you, we may have to drill to get this from place to place in the side-by-side, but we will see. And so the first thing I'm going to do is actually put the brackets on this and just make sure it's going to fit. Alright, so I'm getting these brackets started. I'm just right now temporarily putting these in, and you can see you can adjust them. Before I get them all tightened up, I want to make sure that it reaches. If not, I may have to do some further modification. But you'll just want to grab some of these included hardware. We want to get this screw, we want to get our lock washer, and then the big washer. And so we'll just go ahead and put it in here. Once I verify these fit, I'm going to put some Loctite on these. I do not want these wiggling out while we're going down the road and hitting me in the head. So I think you can understand that. So I'm just going to go put this on the overhead part of my side-by-side. I may tighten it up just a little bit and verify that it fits. I think it's going to be close. I think I'm going to have to stretch it out all the way. That's not a big deal to me, just as long as it does fit. But I'll let you see what it looks like once I get it up there. Alright, so I'm doing my test fit. This is the reason I wanted to try this first. I've got this fully extended and I've got it kind of sitting right there. But I've already run into my first problem. Oh man, I'm about 2 inches shy of hitting that. So I'm going to have to do something a little creative. I'll probably just get some different clamps that stick out farther than this. The problem is I'll probably need like 8 of them, which will probably make this get a little bit more expensive. But I'm going to get them up there for now, and we'll see what we can do. But let's go ahead and start wiring this thing up. Alright, so we need to figure out where we want to put these. Now, on Polarises, there usually be like a bus bar up here, and that is just a spot where you can get access to power. Now, you got a few options. Cfmoto actually has a bus bar that goes right here. I have it ordered. It won't be here for a few days, so I'm ultimately going to hook this up there and just plugs in here. Alternately, you could get a fuse tap, figure out which one of these you want to tap into, and you can wire it up like that. The way I'm going to do it is right here, at least temporarily. This is the winch, and so I'm going to wire it up to this, and we will just go red and black. The only problem with that is you will have to remember to turn this thing off, at least until I can get my bus bar that'll go right here. And so now we need to figure out how to get from in there to right here. And so I'll probably just try to follow these wires, and I'll show you where they come out at. Alright, so I'm looking at my wires that are going around back here, and it looks like this one goes into this box, and I'm assuming it goes back into our dash. And so it looks like the only thing I need to do is pop this little guy off and this little guy off right there, and we'll see if that gives us access to the dash panel. That way we can put our switch right there. Alright, so if you hear anything in the background, my kids are in here helping me. And so I've just got one of these little panel popper tools, and I'm just going to kind of slide it in there and pull it up, and then it should just kind of pop out. So we'll see where it leads us. Alright, so I moved that little box, and I do see some little holes that go in there, but I'm not sure if they go to the dash. So let's go ahead and take off the front panel and we'll put a flashlight behind here and see if we can peek through and see what we got. Alright, so we need to take this part off, and we may take off more, we'll just see. Alright, so this is pretty easy. Just kind of get under here and just give it a tug. Same here. Let's give it a tug. Kind of just work your way up and just kind of wiggle it a little bit while you pull out. It's not real hard, but you don't want to break it either. I'm doing this one-handed, so you probably have a little better luck. Alright. You can just see there's these little clips. I took this off the other day and one of my clips fell. Just picked it up off the ground. Okay, and so let's see what we've got in here. Can we see those little holes? And I'm sorry that the camera's not doing real good justice here, but if I find it, I will show you. Alright, so that actually did get us right in there. Of course, we'll still have to see if, you know, this little piece will go back on that we moved. I think it should, though. And so this will go, you know, hopefully in the future to this bus bar, but for now it'll go there. And whenever I put it in there, it actually come out down here at the bottom. I just shoved it through. And so now we need to find a way to get this into the glove box, which is where I want to put that little box. And actually, this glove box goes way off in here, way up over here, so maybe I can get it up there out of the way. And we got little hands. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop this little piece out. Just going to squeeze this and push it through. I cannot do that with one hand though. This is going to fit in there pretty good. What I'll probably do is I'll get it as far up in there as I can once we're all ready, and I'll probably just double-sided tape it. And it will be just completely out of the way. And we'll figure out what to do with these wires in a minute.
Hi.
Alright, I got it pushed in there. You wonder how that works? You literally just push the one out and shove this one in. Make sure you put your wire in first. That's kind of what it's going to look like. I've got a helper. Alright, so let's figure out what to do with these wires. I'm thinking I might just need to drill a hole right there to get from this part to the glove box. I couldn't find any place to go. I really don't think I need to get this through there and probably that power connector. And then I'll probably drill another hole over here to run our speaker wires out. So, there's probably a better way to do this, but that's the way I'm going to do it. Okay, before I start hooking everything in, I just kind of plugged it up. It's only like 3 plugs. And I just temporarily just have it just sitting there, just to make sure this thing was going to work. And whenever I turned it on, you probably can't see that these are blue, and it said Bluetooth on.
AUX mode, Bluetooth mode.
And so you can hear it, and it's pretty loud. Of course, it's just dangling there because I'm going to have to rig something to get it up there for now. But that's where we're at so far. So I believe I'm probably about to drill my hole here just to really get this from there to there. That's really all I need. And then I need to get our speaker cables out of this glove box and right about here to go up and over. So only way I really know how to do that is drill another hole. You can see the whole glove box shape right here. So I may come from this side and just trying to get it as high up as possible. Alright, let's go. Alright, after a little break with some supper, I'll give you an update. I drilled just a little hole right here and a little hole right over here. And then I just fed my wires through. I made that hole as little as possible. I've just got this wire going through and making our connection, and our power wire that was hanging down there, I just reached up in there and just kind of poked it through a little bit. And so really we only had to make one hole to the outside, which is right there, and I'm going to get some RTV sealant and just kind of patch that up. I'm going to pull the slack out. I went ahead and just poked these wires just right up here. I had to kind of loosen my windshield, and this isn't exactly how we're going to leave it yet. And I've just got it all here. So all the slack is pulled out, so I don't think I'm going to actually need that much. And then if I don't, I'll just pull it back through. We'll kind of latch it down here. I think we'll be fine. I did go ahead and just hook it up. Everything seems good. So this worked. The only thing I need to do is figure out how I'm going to mount that, which I think, just for the time being, I want to use this iron pipe strap, and we'll get that hung up there for the meantime till I can get some different hangers, and then I just need to, formally attach that part, which it seems like they figured you were going to do that anyway, because they put these slits in here so you could just feed it kind of right through. So everything's going good. Honestly, it's a pretty easy install. If this would just reach right there, I mean, I'd probably be done right now. But I just need to make this pretty. We're going to see how much slack we actually need from this. Then we'll zip tie all these wires together up in here. So there's like a tiny shelf up there. And I'll probably get some alien tape, stick that there, and we'll basically be done. So we'll come back in a little bit and just see how far I've gotten. And let's go ahead and just measure just how long this is. That way you can measure in advance. This is maxed out, and I may have some fun doing this one-handed. Let's just see if we can figure out the maximum length. It's about 28.25. No, I can't hold it quite right. Sorry for the professionalism here. So maxed out, we're about 28.25. So if your cage is farther apart than that, you may need to get some different brackets as well. So I'm going to go ahead and Loctite these down and actually secure them good on both sides, and then see what kind of contraption I can make for the time being. All right, everybody, it is the next day, and change of plans. I ended up putting them back here. I rigged it where it would fit up here with these same brackets, but it hung too low. And if you notice, this bar is significantly lower than this one. I know it's hard to tell in the video. So it just, I don't think it was really ever going to work up front unless I had, some spacers that could go up above it and then come across. So I've got them back here. The bar's higher, so it's not as bad. It looks good up there. I'm short, so me being in the back seat, I don't know how well you can see it, but I've got a whole hand. It'd be hard for me to hit my head, but someone taller just might. You can see that there's a fair amount of space above it. I mean, you could probably store something up there. Like I said, I thought about maybe getting some better clamps and getting some spacers and getting this thing all the way up. But it worked all right back there. So let me show you what I ended up doing. Basically what I said I would do. I don't know how well you can see. I'm going to put you in that glove box. I've not even seen in there real good. There's a hole that I drilled right in there just to get my wires through. My little box is right here. Doing good. I did seal up that right there. I thought it was black. It's gray, but it is sealed up good. So should still be pretty well watertight. So my cables just go up, around, and then to there. So like I had said before, the install on the wires was really easy. But I think this is 29 inches from bar to bar, which was the absolute maximum these things could stretch out. And it was still quite difficult to get this up there. I had my son help me, just because, like I said, it was at its absolute max. So what do I actually think about this? Well, honestly, I'd probably only give it
Bluetooth mode.
probably 3 out of 5 stars. I think the brackets could have been longer, but I don't even know if that would have really solved any of my issues. I see why a lot of people go with the sound bar. Just really didn't want, you know, a big hunk in here in between the front and back seat. The way my back cage is, I'd really be pushing it to squeeze a sound bar up in there. I'm going to play some royalty-free music. I know it's going to be hard to tell the quality. But this does get really loud. But I don't necessarily like the tone of it. And there's no bass. So this right here's all the way up, which when you're in there, it's plenty. And I think this is a fairly quiet song. I don't know if there's something a little. I've just got this copyright free music. I think that crackle is just in this song. I hadn't heard any speaker crackle. But if you're listening to like a song, you know, like the levels are so different that it almost sounds like a different person singing it. So it's loud. It looks pretty good. I think the reason this thing is cheap right now, I bet they're going to discontinue it just because I don't think it's meeting, you know, everybody's expectations. I went ahead and moved my switch from here to there because I thought it looked better. But the controls work fine. You know, it's not terrible. It's just not fantastic either. And so if you're looking for, you know, a not terrible option and this fits you, you know, go for it. But honestly, I don't know who else this would really be for. But hopefully the wiring helped. You know, if you put in a similar system like this, hopefully all that information helped you. You got to see some of the insides. I'm just going to leave it on the winch. I mean, I like that this doesn't have to be on. I let it play for about 30 minutes last night, and I mean, this thing cranked right up. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I know I said I was going to hook it up to the bus bar, but I'm not. Like I said, I only drilled 2 holes. I've snaked in that power cable in through here, but I mean, I probably could have just fed it through the hole that I drilled, but it ended up looking a little bit neater, I think, this way. I'll show you one more time the end result in the wiring, which I'm honestly really pleased with. I don't think you would even notice anything under here that was different. You'd have to get up underneath there to see that, and then this power wire right here goes inside of this, and that cord did fit. I don't remember if I mentioned that. The actual whole plastic white clip fit, and I just kind of fed it through there, and it Goes right through that hole I showed you earlier. So definitely a viable option. So what would I recommend? I'd probably recommend just getting a sound bar. Instead of this, I think it'd probably sound better, and I know it'd be a lot easier to hook up. I mean, you could just attach a sound bar here and, you know, just run the power right there and you'd be done. I do like having the controls right here though. I don't want to like reach back up there behind me and trying to pause it or something. You do have the option of USB, which I've got a small USB that I'm going to plug in there. I'm going to download some songs and put it on there. And because sometimes where we trail ride, there's no service, and you don't necessarily want to just be playing your phone battery the whole time because you might just need it. All right, guys, that's the complete install and review of the Kemimoto overhead sound system. Like I said, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. You know, a lot of that's my fault, though. Not because I couldn't hang it or anything like that, but just because, you know, I just don't know if this was the best application for it. Doesn't sound terrible. My wife likes it, but I've definitely had better sounding sound systems. Got this for $180, so not too bad. I do like those controls. I do like having the USB option. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope that this video didn't bore you to death, and hope you learned something. I know it's really long, but I enjoyed making it. And don't forget, Jesus loves you so much he died for you, and all the honor and glory goes to God. Good night, good pools. God bless.